Welcome back to Boyos Network. My people, I'm back here again with another trending thing that are happening in the country. The latest now is that they are now paying all these top celebrities, top content creators to start the marketing Peter Obi. Now be waiting the rain now. That is the propaganda APC are using now. The way it is now, if Nigeria we don't break out from this shackles, this chain, this 2027, now be saying that bondage now we go remain, because this is just the only time we have to break ourselves out from this. Let's not forget, say Aero5 don't expose result of 2023, meaning that Peter Obi win, but they rigged the election against Peter Obi. So guys, I'm going to drop this interview. In this interview, you are going to see a whole lot revelation being uncovered, a whole lot of truth. The exposure for this interview. So my people, just take your time and watch this video and drop your honest opinion in the comment section. I beg, if you have not subscribed to my channel, subscription is for free, just for you to be getting updates as we are dropping our news. Thank you very much as you enjoy the rest of the video.
Okay, so the first elections I participated in, like when I'd come to the knowledge of politics and the understanding of it, was I believe it was the 2015 elections, and that was all completely based on the dynamics in the state and the country at the time, and what the politicians were saying they would do. When you become a party member and a stakeholder at a very high level, your role is to ensure that the best of the best emerge as the flag bearer. So you should be proud to vote for that person. Okay. You know, so ideally when there are primaries and things like that, you put your support behind the person you believe in. And when it's now time to vote during elections, you should be proud of that person and vote for the person.
Okay. But right now, which one are you doing? You're just voting for your party?
What, for 2027?
This one that just happened, this one now?
No, I'm a stakeholder. I'd vote for my party.
Okay, fair. But for 2027?
I'll vote for my party as well.
And what party would that be?
The coalition that the party coalition decides.
Oh wow!
Let's
so
talk about that coalition.
Are you moving from? Are you leaving Labour?
We are part of the coalition.
Wow.
Okay. So what is it about the coalition? Because I have seen people's opinions, which I'm not gonna lie, there's a part of me too who feels like.
Let me hear these opinions.
Yes, that feels like it's still the same. Aside the young people like you, the fresh ones, we're still seeing some faces that have moved from other parties. And why are you now the saints that we're supposed to look at with this coalition? What is it about this coalition that will make somebody like me interested in taking them seriously? Not you now.
Not you.
But women, those guys.
It's a very, very valid question. But I feel that the frame that you're looking at it is sort of distorted in the sense. There's this idea that we are looking for angels to lead us. And there's a generation that's come with that idea, and it's actually very responsible for the obedient movement, which is a positive thing, because you see, politics and the thinking behind it is like a pendulum. It swings, and the point comes where people want that ultra pure, ultra clean, because they've dealt with shit, for lack of a better word, for too long.
Yeah.
And nothing works, and they just feel that they need a very righteous person that's going to come, that has a clean record that we can believe in. And that is what inspired so much faith in His Excellency Peter Obi in the 2023 elections. Now, there are not that many Peter Obis, right?
What do you mean?
There are not that many. He got the followership. He has the followership that he has because he's extremely unique, in the sense that you have a person that has shown by his track record that he will save the country's money, the state's money. He's not trying to steal it. He's not trying to appropriate it. He's not someone of excess that is getting maximum houses, and he's taking the house on body loan for himself, the equivalent of that in Anambra, or the house on body loan and Queens for himself as well, that used to belong to the state. And I can just continue listing. And you know I'm not talking about Anambra right now, right? So I can keep listing that, but that's not what he's done.
Yeah.
He's very true to himself, and people see that. And in this place where you have leaders that have appropriated to themselves the status of being king, that it doesn't matter what the people are dealing with, but we are going to live large, and we are going to go abroad to get healthcare, and we are going to buy the private jets, and we are going to live in these mansions, regardless of the fact that we are now the poverty capital of the world. Now, that difference that he has shown himself to be is what gave him this followership that he has, especially among young people. And you know, with us as a generation, my generation and even generations below me, we live in a digital generation, which is a generation that has a lot of footprint and data and receipts. You know, generations above us, A person could forge his certificate, forge his name, forge that he went to this school or that school, and they could get away with it.
But we have people who are part of this coalition who supported past
100%.
leaders, with this same
El-Rufai
mess.
is one of the people.
Yes.
Right? There are a number
So
of
why
them.
should we take them seriously now?
The fact of the matter is, a person can sit down. See, Bola Ahmed Tinubu was one of the main reasons why we had the Buhari. Right?
Him amongst others.
But he's a major reason for the formation. I mean, he was a national leader of the APC. That's the president. And currently he's the president. Right? There are people that will see what this man is doing is wrong. And even though I was part of the people that brought him in here, I'm going to work against it now. Right? And there's a value in that, as opposed to just going with the flow and seeing some other person will decide that, I'm going to go with the flow. It doesn't matter the effect on the masses, but I'm going to see what I can get for myself. I'm going to be happy in this situation. There's that. But if we are looking for a party where everybody is going to be that paragon of purity, of righteousness, of all of those things, and you want to win an election in a place like this, then we are dreaming. So the idea now is that there is an awakening that has happened with people. There are the people that want to do things right. We need to make sure that all the forces come behind those people to be able to do things right. There are some people that are going to need to do dirty work, and you need them on your team as well. If they're not on your team and they're working against you, the whole of Nigeria can vote for you. They will announce the result at 3 a.m. when obvious.
So would you say that that's part of what happened with you and Peter Obi in the last
Certainly,
elections?
100%. I was thinking about this thing this morning, and I was saying you can always tell the people that love a country or love something. When you think about that story of King Solomon, where the two men came and claimed that the child was their own, you had a group of people that planned violence against the people they want to govern. When they postponed the elections, especially the governorship elections, people went to sit down, not to really think about what are we doing that's so wrong that turned all these people against us. No, instead it was about how can we organize violence to intimidate and suppress these people that we want to govern. Right? Now, if it just says a lot about why you are running. If you have to intimidate, wound, hurt, dehumanize people to get into office, you never came into the race for the people. You came to the race for yourself. Right?
Okay.
This is really my fear.
So I have a question for you. I hear when Peter Obi came out, there was track records of what he has done in Anambra, saving the state's money. But the question I have is, do you think right now Nigeria as a whole, right, needs us saving money, or we should be looking at what we can invest to bring money in?
Yes. Now, we need both. We need both in the sense that with the amount of money that has been borrowed by this government and the government that preceded it, and the state of affairs of Nigeria and the level of poverty is not matching. People have, and His Excellency Peter Obi has been saying this, people are borrowing money for consumption, not production. You need to borrow money to put into things that will produce. So in 10 years down the line, you will not be in a place where you need to borrow some more money or borrow more money. But you have a situation where you don't have a productive economy. People are borrowing based on futures, crude oil futures. So now people are raising money based on, okay, in 10 years time, we'll be producing crude, so we're going to borrow money based on that. So you now have a situation where NNPC at a point was saying that they don't even have crude oil to sell to Dangote's refinery because a lot of it has already been sold off future-wise, right? To pay off debt because they borrowed against that. And now have a situation where there's a productive refinery that needs crude, that's creating employment for Nigerians and can potentially reduce the cost of everything, cost of transportation, cost of fuel, which will bring down food inflation and so many things, cost of living. And all of a sudden NNPC is saying that they possibly don't have crude because they've already sold it off in terms of futures. So this is where these things come in. We need a person that's a shrewd manager of resources. We need a person that is going to apply those resources in the most efficient way for maximum output. And that's not something that we currently have with the last two administrations. I mean, look at the size of their delegations when they were going for the copper event, and then ask, what is the impact that Nigeria has? Or what are the real tangible things that they've done to actually even address those concerns in terms of copper? That you have to have that kind of huge delegation. And they would have continued that way if not for the pushback that they received from the opposition. That to them is normal. Now you compare that to the Excellency Peter Obi, who is trying to minimize cost you understand?
Yeah.
I've been on flights with him, and he's flying economy. It's not pretend, right? And the fact of the matter is, we're a poor country.
Yes,
We're
Nigeria is a poor country.
Nigeria is a poor
that has a
country
lot of resources, but
that has a lot of resources, is very badly managed, but the amount of people that cannot eat every day in this country is significant. And also it's even worse thing now because of the insecurity in the hinterlands and the farms, because before, you know, there's urban poor and there's rural poor. So in the rural area, you might be poor materially in terms of money, but you have a farm and you are producing your own food, so you're not dealing with food inflation or high food costs. You will eat.
True.
Bad as bad, you're going to eat. You have a shelter over your head. You know, you will do the things that you require to live. Now the rural poor cannot even afford to feed anymore because they have been chased off their farms by terrorists and all of those kind of things. So that has been that the state that we are in has been worsening significantly.
And we had a government that was pardoning these people. But let's bring it to Lagos now.
All right.
No, wait, sorry. Before you bring it to Lagos, right? A lot of people love Peter. I think the love for Peter Obi started from when he decided to leave PDP, right? So it felt to a lot of people that let's say this guy want stand out. He doesn't want to associate himself with this set of people that have been, you know, bringing the country
Down.
Exactly, down. So, but after the support, right, from Labour and the obedience movement and everything, he now still went back to these same people, right? So it now looks like, okay, and to be honest, coming from a lot of people think that Peter Obi is actually looking desperate. And the reason I'm saying is because, I mean, you talked about the economy, that you guys have been on the economy together, but we've also seen videos of him coming down from private jets. But he talks about the economy, he doesn't talk about the private jet. That's fine. Recently, this one I even bust everybody head. Like the serving of jollof rice. We have never seen him serve jollof rice before in the history of this country. And then we are seeing him serve jollof rice, and then he's saying things that it wasn't just him, but I'm talking about him because he's a major, you know. And then the fact that he's now saying that he just needs 4 years. Why do you need just 4 years? Like he's giving desperate vibe, you know, associating with the same people that he has criticized and they have criticized him. That's number one. 7 jollof rice, you know. Which was the latest one that we just this one? Then talking about the 4 years, you know, what do you have to say about
that's a very, very, very fantastic question, and I'm very glad I have the opportunity to clear some of that. Peter does not own a jet, not because he can't afford one, but doesn't believe he needs to own a jet. The success and the wealth that he has, he can have 2 jets. That's Baba Ahmed has 2 jets. When we move in a jet convoy. If you see him come out from a jet, it's probably that's his jet or someone sent a jet for him. And I don't think that takes away from anything. He will tell you that if he's traveling, his own principle is if we travel more than 6 hours, I go business. Right? And that's fine. I think that people are just not used to seeing a person with that level of wealth operate and manage resources and hate waste as much as he does. And that is a personal thing. That is an Obi thing. When the lights are off, if you're not in politics, you're not in government, that is him. That is him as a human being. And it just so happens that that's what Nigeria needs now because of the wasteful years, the termite low-cost years that we've had as a people. If we're people that have had shrewd managers for a very long time, people will be like, I beg. I want a president that's going to spend small. Let him go and show off small. I want to see a presidential convoy. How far? You understand? But that's not the reality that we have. That's the first thing. The church situation. This man has been doing this thing for years. It just so happens. Yes, it's a thing in the Catholic Church where on a particular day, the wealthy in that communion, in that community, serve the others. So the people that they look up to on that particular day, they are the ones that serve. So there were senators there as well that did the same thing. But unfortunately, you see, propaganda kicks in and tries to make it seem like, in him serving rice is trying to do. But he came out and actually talked about it. And if you most Catholics know that this is what happens, right? And unfortunately, you see, I want to look for a nice way of saying this. We need as a people to start to come out of our own squares. You know, too many of us, we don't take time to learn about others. You're a Pentecostal, you're not really taking time to understand the Catholic Church. You're a Catholic person, you're not really taking time to, because everybody living in their bubble. Yeah, in their bubbles. Thank you. That's a better description. Because if you've done that, you'll be able to see through a lot of this propaganda. The other thing you talked about, so you talk about desperation. There's this idea that someone is desperate. If this man is not moving the way he's moving, they'll say he's not serious. He's moving the way he's moving, they say he's desperate. There's always going to be a description. The point of the matter is this: any serious politician today knows the force that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is.
Yes.
You must always recognize and respect your opponent. If not, you're lying to yourself.
True.
So you know the work you need to put in. So give the man credit where it's due. He's a strategist. I wish his strategy was for the betterment of Nigeria, but as a politician, he's a very strong, solid strategist. He's mastered the art of state capture, of capturing institutions. You see the way Lagos State has been completely captured from traditional institutions, the local government institutions, the political institutions, and he's not been governor for so many years.
Even private institutions.
Private institutions, he's held it down. That's he's the master of the art of that. So, any serious politician knows that they need to get on their job, they need to stand on business, they need to get into it, and their work rate must be very high. And that also comes with the realization that if I cannot do something by myself, I need to work with a team to achieve this thing. You cannot do it by yourself. I remember when I spoke with the Consul General of this America, I believe it's America or England, I'm not sure, after the elections, and he recognized, he said, we put out a report saying that there was a lot of violence in the state government elections. INEC failed woefully in delivering the mandate that they were supposed to, and all of that. But after acknowledging that, but the opposition did not help themselves. He said the opposition did not help themselves. If the opposition united, this story would be a very different story. True. That why we criticize INEC and everything. Also, let us look at the governors that wanted to go to the Senate that lost their elections. Let us look at the fact that if you add His Excellency Atiku Abubakar's votes and His Excellency Peter Obi's votes, they completely take out His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu's votes. Completely. So while you complain and everything, the opposition too should be able to realize that there's a reality check that they need to understand. And good politics is about consensus and bridge building and managing interest. Good politics is not about, I'm going to stand by myself, I'm going to do by myself and succeed. We need to define the interest that we are pushing. And the wonderful thing about His Excellency Peter Obi's run now, it has redefined politics in Nigeria, in the sense that now we know that if a person is a man of integrity, there are people that like that. If a man comes to talk about his ideas and his vision and shows that he understands data and comparative advantage between other countries and Nigeria, and he shows that deep understanding, people like that as well. If you have a antecedent list that goes back to show that you are who you say you are, people like that as well. So now it's no more the story of, I'm a big man, I have money, I can tell jokes, and I have my boys, my gangsters, my thugs that can scatter places, so I'm a powerful politician. He has started to redefine the paradigm of what it means to be a politician, and that puts him on a table with a lot of strength to also be able to shape the vision for any coalition that's going to move forward.
So it looks now that the coalition is standing on the integrity of Peter Obi. So this is a direct question for you. What if Peter Obi decides to pull out of this coalition? With everything that you've said, would you still be a part of it? Because I can't bank on the integrity of any of those other men.
And who else will you be voting for if Peter Obi wasn't?
So would you still be a part of it?
That's a fantastic question. God damn it. If I knew you guys were going to be asking this kind of question, I would have come for your show. That puts me on the spot. Okay, but I mean, these are conversations that must be had. Again, I started this conversation by saying that His Excellency Peter Obi is extremely peculiar. And you are right, and you're fair to make a statement about the integrity, the value that he brings to that coalition in that sense. I don't see him pulling out. We've had several conversations. I don't see him pulling out. My focus is on making sure that the coalition produces a ticket that Nigerians can be proud of. I know I've answered that question as a politician, but man, it's too early to answer that question. It's too early to answer that question just as a Nigerian. It's too early.
So what if Peter Obi wasn't
part of the coalition?
Contest, and it's part of the coalition?
Then the focus should just be on me. I'm also contesting, right? I'm building my integrity. I have integrity. I'm building that track record, building my base in community, and just be focused on me.
We're talking about presidency now.
You can talk about it.
I like that you brought us back to Lagos because it's really about you. So let's
I've avoided. Wait. To be fair, I hate when
people use that word.
Politicians do this thing that I'm doing. I hate it.
I think the reason why you're doing it is because you maybe don't see anybody that credible in the coalition.
You literally put a hole in front of me that you want me to walk into my eyes open.
Because if you look at it,
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
And you now understand where I was coming from.
100%. So this is the thing, and I say this to everybody I'm talking to now. we feel very strongly about His Excellency Peter Obi as a man of integrity and all of these things. But let us also understand that Nigeria is a very divided place right now. All of us here are Southerners. There's no Northerner on this chair. We are not. What are the voices of the Northerners saying about what they're experiencing? We are looking at Peter Obi, and these are the values that we are. The word is not projecting, that we see in him and we value. What are the Northern youth saying about the Northerners that are protesting? Remember when we're doing NSAS?
Yes.
Do you remember there were protests about keep NSAS in the North?
Yes, I remember.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was befielding. I was like,
Oh yes, that's perspective.
and then somebody
thing I'm talking
explained
about.
that the NSAS there are the ones helping to fight the whole terrorist thing and everything. They are making them feel safe.
Yeah.
So there they are making them feel safe. Here they are feeling like terrorists. But the problem now that we have is that those numbers were so close. His Excellency Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi, so close. So the love that this man has, Peter Obi, this other man has that amount of love too.
Yeah.
So while we might criticize and say all of these things, I was in Adamawa when they were banning Atiku to Waziri. He's invested in aluminium, yogurts, like he's creating jobs, he's doing
Over
things
there.
over there. So there are people that clearly love him.
Yeah.
Right now, the question now is, okay, what is the good politic? Right? Because it's politics. You see, just the fact that one is in politics just changes you as a human being, in the sense that you have to be all things to all men. You have to balance several interests.
True.
Right? Interests that you will never deal with if you're just a regular person.
True.
You are sitting down with people that you will never hang out with if you are not in politics.
True.
Right? Because the man that is an alcoholic, that is beating up, just imagine the worst kind of person. If that person has a vote, you want his vote.
True.
You understand what I'm saying? You want it. Politics is +1.
True.
Right? You want his vote. So you are going to speak to this group and talk about their interests. You're going to go to this group and talk about their interests. There are some people that you don't even want to deal with, but you know that, and I'm going to bring this in. Before the camera started rolling, we're talking about Ambody.
Yes, we were.
And you talk about how there was dirt all over the floor when Ambody was
governor.
But the only reason why that happened was Ambody tried to reform the waste management system. Visionscape was the new branding that he put out, and they were about to create a system where waste was converted to wealth, and it was even going to be quoted on the stock market.
So that's why the whole roads were dirty.
What happened was that all the stakeholders in the old establishment sent their boys out to sabotage that. So all the waste things, they were throwing it down. They were throwing it down. It was a direct result of him trying to change and make a transformation, but he did not have the structure, all the thugs, all the boys on his side. The people that he was trying to replace, they had those people and they sent them out to do what.
So you're saying the dirt on the road that made me dislike Ambody till today was
sabotage. It was sabotage. It was sabotage. That's why I said when you said, I said that's a very interesting take, because when you just go and look into it, you see it was directly tied to Visionscape that I tried to bring in, which is also tied to how they took him out. Right? Just do your research. Just ask around.
Honestly, if you really go and do your research, after Rajiv Ashola, I felt like Ambody didn't do much until I had the opportunity to be in a room where I was seeing actual facts of the type of person Ambody
was the first governor that I knew that there was a fire somewhere and there was a fire truck there in 15-20 minutes. Ambody was the first governor that I knew that there was a response team for like an emergency. Your car broke down on the road, they'll come to your car for free.
Oh wow,
for free. I know someone that happened to. Now I'm not here campaigning for him. The point of the matter
is he contested? Not
he might. I don't know. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that if you, no matter what your vision is, right, no matter how much you want good for the people, if you leave the bad elements to just be floating without taking them into consideration, it would.
But is there a structure for you guys, the good guys who have to unfortunately deal with this, for lack of better words, messy people? Is there a structure for you guys to make sure that they don't dampen the good work that you've put in? Because let's remember what happened in 2015. The APC came in like saviors. They came in like they were ready to help Nigeria move forward. And we saw what happened. This is not to say that there might not be some good people in the APC, but I'm saying with you guys now, like I said, I don't trust any of these men. So is there anything that you people have put in place
to make... You don't trust any, including Peter Obi?
No, I've mentioned that aside Peter Obi, we're mentioning names of people who put Buhari in power, who benefited off of that government. So I don't trust any of these people. But is there anything that you guys are actively doing to make sure that the selfish interest of these people that we have seen for the past 10 to 20 years doesn't come in place to destroy the hard work that you've put in, including your name? Because your name is unfortunately being attached to these other names.
That's a very fantastic question. I think that by virtue of the show of strength, you see, politics is a reflection of people that take it seriously. Right?
Yeah.
Politics in general, even up to, I was even going to say governance, is a reflection of people that take it seriously. And the wonderful thing that we successfully achieved in 2023 was showing how many young people take this politics seriously.
True.
And everything that you're saying right now is the reflection of a lot of people that normally will not come out to vote,
True.
normally will not participate, but now their voices matter.
Yeah.
Because on any table, they are talking about obedience. They're talking about people that, and this obedience, Peter Obi is the manifestation of a bigger idea and a bigger desire that stemmed from, I would say, the NSAS was the seed that grew
That was the trigger.
tree, right? But it's about young people just wanting a better country, wanting better, holding leaders to a higher standard,
Yeah.
wanting more, wanting better, wanting quality. Now, by virtue of that thing that's been done, we have empowered the politician to be on that table and to be able to make these demands that you're talking about, building structures, have a say in the structure of the party.
Yeah.
Right now, we have done that, and I think in continuing voicing our opinions, in continuing to participate, to engage, that seat is going to even be more relevant in terms of that seat on the table. Because normally, people that have these ideas, people that mean well for Nigeria, they don't participate, they don't vote, they don't come out. And it's just people that vote based on their tummy, based on who gives them 3,000 naira.
Yeah.
So, imagine in that period, you now have somebody come and sit on a table and be talking about good governance, and then all the other people on that table are thinking about the millions they spent on elections to get there. Once you've bought a person over, you cannot respect that person.
True.
You can't. You've bought them, they benefited.
You own them.
Now you own them. Now it's for you to go in and maximize, and it's like business.
Yeah.
True.
Buying and selling.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But when nobody will see the obedient movement and think this was bought.
Yeah.
These were young people that came out and were, printing their caps, printing their t-shirts, campaigning. The day I knew that something was about to change was October 1st. That rally when I went out. Because I went to Amuodofe, I went to Lekki, I went to Ikeja, and I saw people coming to me, and I saw the purity, the joy, the hope. It was not bought. It was not bought. So not somebody gave them money. You see
I get
those,
what you mean. I
you
get
see
what
those
you mean.
campaigns where when the camera just comes in, they're looking like
Yeah.
these people. I knew that
There were
something
no
had
fake
changed.